Over 10,000 women have told me no. Not maybe, not let me think about it. No. Straight up no. I've stood in front of girls say like one sentence and watch her just walk away, not even looking back. And honestly, I still went home with somebody that same night. And in a minute, I'm going to tell you a story. And this story that they are very obnoxious and feel probably counterproductive to you to pick up a girl. But stay with me because it's actually the whole point of this video. So, this is going to sound cocky, honestly, more than I even mean it. But when I approach a girl, like, I don't expect it to hook. I know exactly what I want and I know what I don't want. And I'm totally fine being polarizing about that. Here's my philosophy, and this is real. It's totally fine if I approach 20 hot girls and 19 of them tell me to fuck off, as long as one in 20 hooks. My job is to walk in there and I got like superpower and sell her that imagery that the level of obnoxious confidence I'm operating on. But in practice, sure, plenty of girls are open to talking to me and I still get blown out. Everybody does. That's just the game. So here is the core ideas, and this is something my client don't want to hear. Blown out are the price of groundness. If your goal is to never get blown out, you're thinking every set goes smooth. It's because you're playing too safe, too friendly, not polarizing enough. So be a little bit more obnoxious. You cannot build real groundness without eating blown out, period. If you're sitting there thinking, man, I just want every approach to go well, you're never gonna grow. That's it. The only way you get good is by taking a tons of rejection. There's no shortcut. I never met a guy who was just born as a smooth pimp, like it doesn't exist. Real intuition, the kind where you can read a situation and just know what's going to work and what's not going to work, that only comes from paying your dues. Accept the blown out, accept the discomfort. That's just life, honestly. Anything worth being good at this, it costs you something up front. Over 10,000 of girls have told me no at this point. This day, I reframe it, rejection just means she got blindsided by the awesomeness and she couldn't handle it. But usefully, here's the real lesson. Don't build your identity around getting rejected. What actually matters is the thought process. I tried something, and in this context, it didn't land the way I hoped. So pay attention to that feedback instead of taking it personal. And honestly, the nights you get blown out over and over, those are the most valuable nights you'll have. Go home, cry if you need to. I don't care. And then pull yourself together and actually think it through. What would I do different? What are the two other way I could have played that? And how would the outcome change? Context matter too. What works in a Vegas nightclub is not going to fly in a small town church. Even the night the right like move can fail in the wrong setting. So go put yourself out there, travel, rack up difficult situation, and review them honestly without beating yourself up. That library of like experience, that's what eventually gives you the instinct. Just go do it and succeed. Now, here's why social pressure itself is the thing you could be seeking out. I've made a habit, honestly, of putting myself in uncomfortable situation on purpose. Part of being a man is spotting problems before they hit you, but it's also trusting that when you have something that hits you hard and it comes up, you're going to handle it because you already built a track record of walking into tough spots and coming out fine. One big one is I remind myself to get at least kicked out once a year from a club. I also like to cut the line on purpose in the biggest club like you can possibly imagine in front of everyone, shameless. Other things that I really enjoy is talking to a girl in a big group in the middle of the club or in a mix set, perhaps maybe in a table when the pressure is at maximum. At this point, there's almost nothing a girl can throw at me that I haven't already seen. You do have an approach, you start recognizing the pattern like an engineer running the same experiment 1,000 times. You start seeing the data repeat. You've dealt with this kind before, so you're going to deal with it again. I call it the Marlon Brando shower. Whatever happened, same face, same reaction, nothing. So let's strip this down to the crassest level possible. It was never really about sex. You can get that cheap almost anywhere, honestly. Just travel somewhere in Asia, in maybe Thailand, Cambodia. And honestly, the price of a vagina is quite like low if you think. It's probably like the price of uh, a very expensive drink in Vegas, especially in Vegas right now with inflation. So what you actually want is not just sex. It's more like a woman who genuinely into you, who wants to be around you, who sees you as our best option. And the only plus to that is building this same social intuition, being willing to eat the social pressure and do things most people are too scared to do. And once that click for you, the creepy, desperate energy just disappear. You stop chasing and you start screening for personality or whatever actually matters to you instead of latching onto the first girl who gives you a little attention. Guys convince themselves the first girl slightly above their usual level is special. She's not. She's just willing to accept you and you are rationalizing accepting her back. So you go put in the reps, see what actually out there, and then decide what you really want. You can't make that call honest without the experience behind it. Couple of years ago, I was talking with a buddy of mine who used to play rugby, like almost professional in France, and we were talking about what does it actually mean to be the alpha male or a stud or hero, a boss, whatever you call, whoever you want to think as that guy. What does it mean to be on top of your game? And he's telling me this funny story from locker room, in rugby buddies, whatever they were up to. And I'm thinking to myself, at a core level, all the stuff that gets showed to you, the stuff you see in movies, or this socially like contrived nonsense about what a charming man is or heroic man is honestly a lot of BS. I really think going back to that base environmental psychology type thinking, if you were in a village, let's say, and there were some scary animal, something coming and tormenting the people of your village, and let's say the scary animal came, we'll call it maybe a lion or tiger or something like that. But you don't even know it's a lion because that's the first time you've seen that creature like this. You don't have the word lion yet. You just see this ferocious cat like beast and it comes and it maybe your nephew or it devour an elderly like person from your village, and then he scurries off like in the night, dragging your brother by his ankle and leaving a trail of blood into your village. So if that cat came a couple times, everybody in that village is terrified of that cat. And it just seeing your nephew get dragged away. The elderly like lady, she got dragged away. Whatever else happened. Now, let's say that cat came back to the village and you are the person who stepped into it. You're the person who stepped into that scary obstacle tormenting the whole community. Man, if you grab that cat and you choke that thing to death with your bare hand and in front of the village people, and when you're done, you stand proudly over the cat and you just grunt like, nah, that would be awesome already. But then if you walk behind that cat, lifted its tail, and you just handle the scary cat right there in front of the men, women, and children of your village, and you cannot deny there is not a woman in that village who would like not lining up behind the other woman, and they would be thinking like this guy just like butt fuck this lion, this big cat. So they would be probably lining up like to suck your dick and remove the shit on your dick. Probably. So how that relates to your life is this. If you're the guy who steps up and deal with things, if you're willing to put yourself at risk to take care of other people problem, if you're capable of solving problem and easing problem in other people's life, they're going to naturally gravitate towards you. They want to be around the guy who can step up and deal with that scary stuff when it comes up. And life, it's not always pleasant, man. There's always going to be something. There's always some turmoil, always a little bit of drama. And at the core level, the person who's the most capable of solving those problems, dealing with whatever social pressure or scary stuff might come, that guy is love. That guy is loved and adored. That's what a hero. A hero is the guy who can actually handle the scary cat and just have his way with the situation, make a mockery of things that other people are terrified of. And that's what a hero is. So, whatever bullshit you hear on TV or whatever a newscaster tells you, oh, what a heroic action. He stopped the shopping cart from rolling in front of the bus. He saved the baby's life. Yeah, that's cool. Honestly, good for him. But the bigger step is you're capable of dealing with the more you're going to be loved and adored by the people who've been too scared to deal with it themselves. And that is really what taking responsibility means. Everybody always trying to avoid it, always want a place in somebody's else. So all you have to do to actually become that guy is just be the guy who step up, start taking responsibility, and honestly, everyone is going to love you for it. So don't be afraid to let her walk. The way you actually keep a woman is by making it clear that if she got better option, she's free to go take them. And if she does, don't sulk about it. Go build a better life instead. And genuine good life pulls people towards on it. That's how it works. So keep stepping up, work harder, seek out more like social pressure, not less. Take on more obstacle. That's how you become magnet, better people, better opportunities, better woman. They all start gravitating towards you and the whole thing just spiral upward from there. So if you want to actually go do this instead of just watching me talk about it, come out to a boot camp with me and Jeff. We'll get you in the field, in real situation, building that exact same intuition, and we just talk about it. So links is in the chat here. Until next time, it was Bryce. Peace.